think we're live. We don't do well with these things.
No, we have problems with the extra special Behind the Hauntings.
Well, it crashed last time, too.
It did.
So let's try this. Hello, Parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. Behind the Haunting, live. I am your host, Sean Donnelly.
And I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with the computer here, so
it happens.
Bear with us. We started everything off and then crash.
But it's all good.
Yeah, but I'm a little scared now if we switch between things.
You scary cat.
I will, if we lose connection again, I will just stick with us. I'll try to get everything back up again. So, can you guys hear us okay? Can you see us okay? Going to have some great information for you guys tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And this worked out well when we did this as a live stream before.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Behind the Haunting.
It's working out even better tonight because we bumped up a little bit in time.
And we bumped up to 8 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. Yeah. Looks like you're buffering there a little bit.
A little bit.
Andrew, did we turn it on and off again? Yes, we did. OBS crashed on us. But I think we got it back in quick enough to keep the same video.
Yeah.
This link.
And Paranormal Mama says we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
All right. Okay.
And PSPR, how are you guys?
All right, so we're just going to hang around, chat with you guys a little bit before we start the presentation. Let some other people come in and kind of join us. Get those notifications out there that we have activated the live button.
Oh, goodness gracious. You're scary.
You know, for you to say I'm scary...
Pretty bad.
I get a text from Marianne today with my internal pictures. She picked up my
internal organ CT scan.
Yeah. And she's sending me pictures of my internal organs. And I could tell through the texting that she's just like but I'm the scary one.
Yeah, actually, I did send you several of the pictures, and then I posted a little statement that said, I got to see your insides. And I didn't have to dissect you first. That was an actual text message I sent to my hubby today.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, yeah, Andrew, something happened when I just switched screens. OBS crashed on me, and that's the second time it did that. It did that Saturday on me, too, so I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Is there an update to OBS?
Yes,
maybe?
there is, but...
Maybe they're trying to force you to do the update.
Could be.
You know how
it's possible.
You know how companies tend to do that.
It's very well possible. So we have some videos we want to play, and we have we have one video we want to show.
Mm-hmm.
And that did that right when it switched from the video back to the camera. It crashed OBS. And this is a new camera. I don't know.
Yeah, it crashed both times since you put this new camera in.
Since I put the new camera in.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, if it crashes again, stay with us and I'll try to fire it back up again as quickly as possible because I do want to share the video with you. So tonight's live stream, Tuesday we talked about the ghost stories and folklore in our video that we put out about Madison Seminary. We went there Friday night. And this week we're collaborating with PSPR Paranormal. He checked in.
He did.
He's
he
in
is
here. And on his channel, he's putting out videos from the investigation. He's like more ahead of us of that because I haven't had time to sit and listen to everything. But tomorrow night's video that we put out, we're going to do some of our experiences that we kind of like were part of the video that we witnessed, that kind of stuff. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to listen to the audio. Be nice, but don't know if that's going to happen.
We're a little slow on that.
Yeah, we're very slow. We may dump it as to let you guys listen to everything, see if you hear anything. But I was chatting with Bill over at PSPR right before we went live, and he said he is finding EVPs.
Well, that's good news.
So, yeah. We got a pretty good EVPs that we got on video that we're going to share with you guys tomorrow. So, yeah. Pretty interesting stuff. Pretty cool place, too.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, and I wasn't afraid of it.
Yeah, you went. Yeah, that's another thing. Last Friday you went live. We went live, and then I gave it to you. And Adam came on to the live stream, and you took people inside, and went down in the basement, and all that stuff. So
yeah, basement all by myself.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm hoping that our presentation is not haunted here. I don't know.
All right.
So, how are you guys doing this evening? You having a good evening? First day of summer?
First day of summer.
Last day of work.
He's so excited. He's on vacation now.
That's right. Yes.
Super, super excited. Well, Andrew says we need to get the 3D printer going so we can print your spleen.
Print my spleen? So I can feel better? Well, we're going to have Marianne put it in?
I don't know.
I don't think it's my spleen. It did say in that report we got that I have degenerative lumbar area. So, I don't know. It's kind of a theory that maybe that's pushing on a nerve. You guys that know me personally know I have nerve damage issues, and maybe I'm getting that down there, so I might be finding me a chiropractor maybe to get some relief, because I don't want to go on medicine if I don't have to, but yeah. I don't know. Yep. See what happens.
All right.
Right?
Well, last week, whenever 2 weeks ago when we did this, we had the comment that we needed to adjust the camera a little bit so that they didn't see just Boris's pelvis all night. Yes. So I see that you have done that. We can see all of him, and he's also covering his pelvis still.
Yeah.
He's showing,
that
he's
Boris
a little...
is sporting a new coat so he doesn't get cold.
Yeah. Yeah, because you put the air conditioning on here, so...
I turned it up. All right, how are we doing here?
All right,
folks. So those of you guys in here, go ahead and check in. Let us know where you're from, and if you would, go ahead and share this on out. Let's get some more people in here. Tweet us out or share us on Facebook, whatever you want to do, because we're going to be going through this presentation. We have an awesome story about a woman named Elizabeth Stiles.
Yes, we do.
Yes, tied to Madison Seminary.
That's the one, right?
Yes.
All right.
So Marianne put the link in there.
I did.
And that's actually where you guys should be at the moment.
And you can share that link out.
Go ahead and share that link out. All right. Well, let's see how we're doing.
All right. Let's see if we can
we got good signal strength.
Keep things from crashing the rest of the time, and we'll be happy campers.
Yeah. And actually, it's not YouTube that's crashing, it's OBS. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Are we ready?
Uh-huh.
Are you guys ready to get started? Yeah. If we crash again, we'll be back. I'll pop up as quick as possible to try to keep this on here.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Saw some flashing.
I did.
All right. Is everyone ready?
I think they are ready.
We got a little delay there.
A little bit, but that's pretty normal.
Isn't
it supposed to be automatically 7 seconds, so...
Oh, you researched this, did you? Or you heard this?
I heard this. I believe
All right, here we go. I'm a little afraid of the transition, but we'll try it.
All right, make it happen, Captain.
All right. So, yes, we are talking about Elizabeth Stiles, and we're going to do just a little bit of housekeeping here. First of all, we are live, so there is no editing available.
Unfortunately for you. No.
Unfortunately for me. But I am in a very good mood tonight.
You are. He's been telling me like nonstop since he got home. Hey, have you heard? I'm on vacation.
And somewhat stress-free, so maybe I won't stumble my words as much. like we said before, please share this out. If you could, possibly. That would help us
Mama
out
just
greatly.
said she did.
Thank you very much there, Paranormal Mama. Appreciate it. Now, all the information that we will be presenting tonight will also be linked on the page related to Madison Seminary on panicd.com. And there's a link to that page in the description already. So we're going to be... We haven't done it yet because we found some more stuff today while we were putting the presentation, finishing off the presentation.
Finishing it, yeah.
So we have a ton of links to add to that. So you guys will be able to go and pull this stuff up too.
Yes.
So, all right. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to present the story, and we'll respond to any comments that come in the chat while we're doing this. And at the end, we have some questions for you guys. And when we take a break, we will go to chat and see if you guys have any questions yourself. All right. And during the presentation, we're going to ask you guys for some feedback. Now, PSPR has a little bit of edge on you because he was him and Katie were there with us. So
yes.
All right. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to switch back to this camera. If this goes down, I'm going to start it up real quick. All right. Let's see. See?
Looks good. Looks good.
It didn't do it that time. I don't know. All right. All right. So the last thing I didn't tell you guys is after this is done processing, if you could please come back and leave us a comment on the video, that would help us out tremendously with the video and the logarithm. And again, I need to thank you, Parapeeps, for helping pushing us closer to that 1,000 sub mark. We are so close right now, so close, and our watch time's going up and our view count's going up. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I think I want to get over that hump and just plateau. I don't need to get bigger. Just boom, so people see our videos. They'll be happy with that. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Here we go. Another transition. Fingers crossed. All right. Tonight we are talking about Mrs. Elizabeth Stiles.
Yes, it is.
Correct?
Yes, Mrs. Elizabeth W. Brown Stiles. She was a Brown when she was a young girl, and then she married Mr. Stiles.
That's right. So anytime we go and we do a paranormal investigation, we like to find some sort of story or some sort of history or something that's related to that location, because when we go and investigate, we try to follow up on that story and see if we get any intelligent responses that relates to paranormal claims to the location to the research that we did.
Right.
Okay? That's our approach to paranormal.
Yeah, some people don't want to have any background. Some people want to have as much as they can find. That's one thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit. Can I say that?
What?
That it kind of annoyed me a little bit at Madison.
What's that?
That the individuals running the show, they kept on saying, but I'm not going to tell you anything about that. I want you to find that out for yourself through investigation. I'm like, just tell me so that I can have some information to like use as... Yeah,
so you have some questions to ask.
Yeah.
See, we kind of approach it a little different. There are people that like to go in what's called cold and try to find out information, and then they collaborate afterwards. And we go to just so many different places and different things that we kind of want to go in a little bit prepared ahead of time. And then that's okay. Either approach is fine, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just the way we do it. That's our personal
I just feel that, like, if there's somebody who wants to go in cold, they should tell them, I want to go in cold. Don't tell me anything.
Have two separate tours.
Yeah, and then if there's people who want to know, don't just say, well, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, and we're, like, in the habit, too, with the way the Panic D database is laid out. Like, here's the history, here's the stories, here's the claims, here's the evidence. and that's kind of the flow or the formula or whatever that we use. Because I watch some of the other investigators on their live streams, and like the first question I ask is like, what happened there? You know,
and some of them
what
say,
could have caused the haunting, that kind of thing.
And sometimes they don't know because they have gone in cold.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So, anyways, back to Elizabeth Stiles.
She is one of those individuals that we had a little information about.
Yes.
That we took a look at.
And then when we were doing an investigation, we're going to show some of this too in tomorrow night's video. We were asking questions whether she was there or not. So, all right. So Elizabeth, she was born August 21st, 1816, in Ashtabula, Ohio. She is a native Buckeye.
She is.
Which we just had another one check in.
We did. Richard says hello.
So eastern Ashtabula, which I think what we would consider now to be Conneaut, Ohio, like the tip, like leading into Pennsylvania, is where. I can't see the chat. I don't have my glasses, so you're going to have to.
Oh, I'm responding to the chat.
Yeah, but you could tell me what's going on.
Okay.
All right. So back in the day, she was considered to be very pretty. Now that is, and I'm talking with my hands to the camera, but you guys can't see me.
Yeah, because you put up the pretty picture of pretty Elizabeth.
That's kind of important to know, and we'll find out here in a little bit. But she was also a very intelligent woman. Okay.
Very intelligent.
Yeah. And she had a medical, I don't want to say a medical background. Because,
she learned a lot of medical skills from her mother.
Yeah. Which, from the reading that we found out, which is kind of interesting, little tidbit. You guys here are for a history lesson, probably, anyways. And this makes sense. The mothers of the families would have some medical, not training like they went to medical school, but a medical knowledge to help take care of the family. Yeah. And if it got to the point where it was too much, then they would call in a doctor, which sometimes might take hours to get there.
Or days, depending on where they were. Yeah, so she did pick up some of those basic skills from her mother and her early life.
Yeah. And
she also learned some things from her dad.
Which, horse riding
was one of them.
Very well horse rider. That's not the proper sentence. But
no,
very good at horse riding. And she was also very accurate at shooting.
Yeah. In fact, that's the one thing that her dad kept on like really pushing, was that she learned how to shoot, and she practiced, and she ended up getting to be way better than most of the boys her age.
Didn't you tell me she knew Wild Bill?
Yes.
Cody? So she probably knew Ann Oakley.
Buffalo Bill.
And all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, that's a possibility. I don't know when in her lifetime she met them, but I'm sure they got along famously.
Yeah. She was widowed due to being loyal to the Union. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Yes. That is the reason that she was a lonely soul.
Yeah. All right, and I think that might be it. Okay? So, the next thing that we're going to do is...
Sean, Flub and Epic says we're buffering. Never mind. Okay. And Tracy says hello to us as well.
Hello, Tracy. Yeah, with this... There's been some other YouTubers over the past couple days that's been having issues with buffering, and I think it's mainly with YouTube itself. It seems like this time frame has a little bit of issues, and then it kind of like clears up. So, hopefully it just keeps on going, and then if it doesn't and you need to drop out, that's understandable, but it'll be out there afterwards if you want to come back and catch the review.
But try to stick around, though, because I have some questions later that I kind of
we got some questions at the end. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do... Now, have you guys... And I'm going to exempt PSPR because I know he's heard this story before. But have you guys heard about either Madison Seminary or Elizabeth Stiles before? She was from Ohio. And she was a... Did we say that she was a... No, we didn't say it yet.
No, we didn't say it yet.
Okay. I guess I could say it now, right?
Sure.
She was a spy for the Union Army during the Civil War, and she was commissioned personally by Abraham Lincoln. So, yeah, have you guys heard about her before or heard about this story before? And the way this relates to Madison Seminary, she spent the last 3 years of her life at Madison. Now, Madison Seminary, the term seminary, we think of it as, priests go there, that kind of thing. No, seminary was actually a term for a school, and that's how Madison started.
Right. Back in 1847.
Yeah, it started out as I guess we would consider like a community college now for higher learning.
Higher learning, yeah.
And they called it Madison Seminary, and it's had many different names over the years, and they just named it back to Madison Seminary, the original name. But at one point in time, it was the national home for widows, orphans, and people who served in the military, which that's how she ended up there the last 3 years of her life. And there was others, too, that ended up there, as well. It was like a nursing home at that time for veterans, military veterans.
Yes.
So, yeah. Okay. Did we get anybody that said they knew about the story?
No. Richard said he had not heard of it. PSPR, of course, said yes, LOL.
Yeah.
T-Throng said that the name sounded familiar but doesn't really know anything
So what was her
about
full
it.
name again? Elizabeth?
Elizabeth W. Brown Stiles.
Elizabeth W. Brown Stiles.
Yes.
All right. So, how are we doing? Are we still buffering, or are we good? Because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have Marianne read a little story for you guys, and she's going to have to flip off of that screen that she is on at the moment.
Yes. And then Sean will be reading it.
Yeah, but I think I could hop over to
You're
the
gonna
chat
hop
on
over to the
this
chat
one.
on the other one? Okay. And by the way, while we're doing that, welcome to HCast08. That is ATGJH Travels.
Yeah, where's my post-it?
Daughter.
Welcome back from your travels.
Yes, she said they got home 2 days ago at midnight, and I told her that was goose hunting time.
Ghost hunting time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right, so I am in chat now, so we can't see if we are buffering. But did you want that slide first? Or are you good to go?
Yeah, go ahead, put that slide up. Why not?
Are you going to explain these guys first?
I'm going to tell you a little bit about these two individuals. Right. Throughout this story here, I'll talk to you a little bit about these. Jacob Stiles was actually Elizabeth's husband. What? Oh, jeez. Flubbin' Epic, you're so funny. So anyhow, Jacob Stiles was Elizabeth's husband. And she had married him, and they moved to Missouri, or to Kansas.
Chicago first.
She was in Chicago. She married him in Chicago. They moved to Kansas City. Her sister died, and they went to take care of her children.
Well, are you telling the story, or you're just saying who these people are?
I'm kind of saying who these guys are.
Okay.
Anyhow, they eventually moved to Kansas City to take care of them, and then about a year or so later, they then moved to another area in Kansas called Shawneetown. And
I'm going to go back to this because you're speaking with your hands. She's still one of these, and you can't see her.
Yeah, but the guys are on the screen.
Okay.
Anyhow, the other guy on the other side of the screen, William Cantrill, he was the head of a big gang of individuals who were against the Union, and basically they went around just causing all kinds of problems. He was known to be involved in lots and lots of murders, and he was the bloodiest man in the Civil War is what they called him.
Didn't they call it the Control Gang?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which had some association with.
Yes.
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 Is that in there? Am I jumping ahead? No.
No.
Jesse James.
Jesse James.
Jesse
That's
James.
it. Jesse
Jesse
James
James
was part of the
and
Cantrell group as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyhow, William Cantrell actually is the gentleman who kills her husband Jacob. So that's why they were both on the screen together.
That's important, and I'll show him again here too.
Yeah.
Because this is the beginning of
why she
why
became
she did
so
what she
important.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hit it.
All right. So legend has it that one evening in October, the Cantrell group came in. I keep calling them group. They were the gang. Came into town, into Shawnee, and along the way, they went to Elizabeth's house, knocked at the door. She cracked the door open. She looked out the door and she saw individuals dressed in Union attire. And so because they were dressed as Union soldiers, she was okay with it. She opens the door. She says, "Hey, what do you need?" And they respond that they need to talk to the man of the house because they needed directions.
Okay, so I'm going to stop just for a second because I made a comment, and I don't remember if it was in the past video or videos that we're going to be putting out, but where they lived was like on the border.
On the edge of town.
It was on the, well, it's on
and
the
on
edge
of the state
north
as well.
and south. Yeah. It was like right there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's kind of important to know.
Yeah,
so
it's yes, it was.
It was still Union.
Are you Union or are you Confederate?
Yeah.
It was right on the border there.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of issues in that town, and so in any case, while she's in this town, she is a school teacher. Mm-hmm. She was a school teacher when she left Ohio and went to Chicago. She was a school teacher. She met her husband there. Then they moved and so on. Well, she was still a school teacher at this point, and she had taken her students out for a picnic one day, and she took a Union flag. And as she went with this Union flag, there were individuals who came up and they're like, next time you better not be carrying that flag around. You can't be a Union sympathizer. You'll be lucky if you're not tarred and feathered. And basically kept saying over and over again, basically things that were threatening to her. And she's like, you know what? I really don't care. And she went back, and when they went back to the schoolhouse, she raised that flag again. So supposedly this next event happens the same very night of that event. So she didn't recognize any of the men at her door, and she says, "Okay, I'll get my husband." So he goes outside and he asks, or the gentleman loosely say, where do you lie? Where does your sympathies lie? And basically he said that he was for perseverance of the Union, and so they shot him dead right on the spot,
right in front of her.
Yeah. So as it turns out, it was an individual that she knew to be named George Todd from Kansas City. And he shot Jacob the first time and supposedly shot him dead. However, another man comes up and puts a gun in Jacob's mouth and shoots him again. And this turns out to be an actual neighbor of theirs. And she recognized him as well, and she was quite taken aback, and she tried to escape and tried to get away from them. She ran back into their home, and they came up. One of the other individuals came up, put a gun to her head, and attempted to shoot her. He was stopped, supposedly by Cantrell himself, who said, "She's too pretty to shoot." Now, there's other reports that say that Cantrell said, I'm gonna let you live if you promise to go and tell others that I killed 2 of their men here tonight. And then eventually says, and she's too pretty to shoot. So whether he said the first part or not, we don't know. But her stepdaughter Clara, her sister, as we said, had some children that she took care of. Eventually adopts them, gets their name changed in 1861 and everything. But she, Clara, reports that they did in fact say she's too pretty to shoot. So there were multiple individuals then that did verify that. So that just goes to show you how pretty she must have been. We have pictures, obviously, of her. However, not necessarily the beauties we think of today. However, she was quite pretty, especially for that time period. So in any case, William Cantrell was the individual who was the leader of the group that killed her husband. So that is the story of the shooting itself.
So there they are again.
Yes. So what do we have going on here in the chat before I move forward?
I think Flub and Epic had to leave.
Flub and Epic had to leave. Aww.
So.
That's okay. They'll catch us on the flip side.
All right, so let's move on to Elizabeth's revenge.
All right, so as I had mentioned, she had come in and taken basically her sister's children. She had 2 children, George and Clara, and then she adopts another girl named Sarah. Okay, now on this picture that you're seeing right now, on the far left you'll see Elizabeth. On the far right you see Clara. And in the middle, you see also Elizabeth. But this picture of Elizabeth is her Union spy getup. This is what she looked like when she went through 19 states working for the government, trying to get information. And basically she would wear a bonnet. She would powder her hair. She had a big
corncob
pipe that she would use. And she went down there with her stepdaughter Clara. And they assumed the role of, I am a grandmother with my granddaughter searching everywhere that I can down here in the Confederate Army areas for my grandchild's father who's supposedly wounded. And we want to, find him, patch him up, take him home, So that's why we're here.
Yeah. Do you want me to add to this, or you keep doing the story?
Oh, go ahead. What do you want to add?
Well, as she was doing that, she was acting as a nurse.
Yes.
Performed amputations.
Yes.
And the reason why that she got into the medical part is because what we found out, and this is very interesting, and the first time researching this story I even heard this, is some of those medical doctors were also carriers of information.
Yes.
So in their doctor's bags, they would carry orders and things like that, and different, things that they would find out where the Union Army is. They would carry it in the medical, and you don't mess with the medical.
And so, so she would go in there, she would find this stuff and either make copies, or she would take the originals and she would stuff them in her hair under her bonnet, and then she just went on with her
So
daily amputations.
PSPR, it's going to get better. We found out some more information the last couple days too. So yeah, about that whole bonnet thing. So there is some stuff that we didn't share with you that's kind of interesting.
So Teeth Wrong says, "Did you say she had a daughter named Sarah?" So you're looking ahead here. Yeah, actually, it was her adopted daughter.
But we don't know. We
don't know
couldn't
much
find
about
out.
her.
We don't think it was her sister.
It was not her sister.
It was another
it
child
was someone
that
else.
they took in.
But we don't know why or how she came to do that. But she did adopt Sarah after she took in her sister's children.
Okay, well, remember too, she was a school teacher.
She was
down there where they lived, and that whole town was raided, like her husband being killed.
Well,
so there could have been other.
Yeah, but she did adopt Sarah before they moved to the Shawnee town.
True, there's not much documentation.
But she was
on
a
that
school
Sarah.
teacher in Chicago.
Yeah,
as
it could
well,
have been an orphan that they took
that's quite
in.
a possibility.
Yeah. But yes, Sarah.
Yes, but good catch there.
Good
catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Teeth Wrong is on the ball.
That's
Love
right.
it. All right. So, do we want to talk a little bit about her past, or do we want to just go right on into her revenge?
Well,
like continuing with her revenge.
Talk a little bit more about her past, and then we'll get more about her past.
Okay.
Well, it's going to come up again when we do the timeline, but
okay. So basically, she was born in 1816. I think you had mentioned that. She was one of 10 children.
Yeah.
So again, remember in those days they had a lot of children because most of them didn't make it to adulthood. So they did have big families. But as we had mentioned earlier, she did learn a lot of good skills from her father. And in fact, she had learned to ride a horse and to shoot by the time she was 5 years old. That's crazy. Like, my nephew is like 8.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trust him to be riding a horse and shooting guns.
Well, they didn't have TV and cell phones back then either, or video games or something like that.
Yeah. But that's what he did.
ATGH Travels is here.
Oh, good.
All
Daddy
right.
is here too. All right.
Well, it could be Mommy.
Well, it could be Mommy. You're
Sexist
right.
comment.
Well, I usually see the father.
How you guys doing? I want to stop you just for a second. ATJH Travels. How you guys doing? Did you hit the 1,000? They were close. They were like
close?
991 last night.
Ooh.
So we tweeted it out. I think everybody in here knows ATJH Travels.
Yeah, I don't know this one.
Go check them out. Mental Moments. Hello.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
But yeah, last night they were getting close to their 1,000. We're on your heels.
Yeah.
We're getting close too.
We're getting there. Okay, so anyhow, as we also had mentioned, her mom did take care of
993.
Flub and Epic says 993.
Yeah, they're close.
She did learn some of those basic medical skills from her mom. She also learned to be an avid cheesemaker. She got really good at making cheese.
Oh, here we go with the cheese again.
I'm just saying.
Had to have a tie in the Sealy.
She did become really good at it. I don't know that it was cottage cheese. She was just really good at making cheese, is what I was reading. But she was also very independent. I can't imagine how she could be independent, being able to, shoot and ride horses and everything. Why would she ever be independent, right? But she was very independent. And at 21, she left home and she went to Chicago. And she worked as a seamstress and as a school teacher, and she supported herself for 9 years.
Before she met her husband.
Then she met her husband. She got married to him in around 1846 is the idea. And then they had a little bit of time to be married couple, but they didn't have any children. And it comes along in 1858 that her sister,
Which, by the
Emmeline,
way,
dies.
since we started earlier, we don't have the frogs out here yet.
That's true.
You notice that? It's
Yeah.
nice and peaceful.
It is peaceful. You
Anyways,
had to say
sorry.
it. Now they're
Go
going to,
ahead.
like, wake up and go, oh,
Yeah.
So in any case, her sister Emmeline Dolph dies.
T-Tong's asking, teacher, same one. Yes,
Teacher, same one. Yes, Elizabeth. Yes, she was a teacher and a seamstress. Yes, and she eventually becomes Union spy.
Yeah. And a nurse and does amputations.
You get real excited about that.
Well, it's like seamstress. Most of the guys that basically did the amputations during the Civil War were carpenters.
That's true. That's true.
So
yeah. All right.
how do the frogs
go?
go? They'll be coming out as soon as the sun goes down. You'll hear them.
All right. So her sister's name was Emmeline L. Dolph. And she had 2 children, George and Clara, and she dies in 1858. Now, her husband...
She wants to know if it's a basement teacher. No,
different teacher. Yeah.
Different story. We haven't found anything else about that. We tried to tie it
researching
into this, and there's nothing out there. So we have to go back up there, and we'll probably go up for a couple days and hit the local library or something and try to find something. Yeah, there's nothing really on the
internet about it. Yeah. Nothing that we've found anyhow in the last few days. What I found interesting, and you kind of had a good response for, was that when her sister died, her sister's husband was still alive.
Yeah.
And lived for
quite a long
20 some years later. But yet her children were given to her sister and they left the state.
Yeah. Oh, do you want my response to that? Well, it could have been a number of reasons.
I mean, they stayed in the same state. She was in Kansas City, and with her sister was in Kansas City. They eventually moved to Shawneetown.
Yeah.
Both of them
were in the same state.
Yeah, same state. But
he didn't take care of the kids.
He didn't take care of them
when the sister died.
And he had other children.
Yeah. Well, the reason could be there was just too many children, number one. But back then too, the mother of the woman of the household took care of the children. I mean, he could have been a farmer, didn't have time to do it, or didn't want to remarry, didn't want to ever, and the kids would have been neglected.
This was his second wife already.
Yeah, so that's just how it was. If the woman died, I mean, how many cases have we researched? Like, look at the Kinsman house. Even wife dies, guy remarries, somebody's going to take care of the kids. That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It was either that or he was just a raging alcoholic. But that could have been why. I mean, he could have still saw him occasionally, but her being the mother, a motherly
type.
Look at the movie Patriot. That goes back to the Revolutionary War. They, when he went off to fight, he took the.
Yeah, but he
do
didn't
we
go
know
off
if
to
the
fight.
father went off to fight? We don't know.
Not to my knowledge.
Because the Civil War started right around then.
Yeah, but not to my knowledge.
He could have worked with the war, didn't have time.
That's true.
I'm just playing devil's advocate why he didn't take care of his kids. It would make sense.
It just bothered me that he's like, yeah, sure, take my kids.
Yeah, kind of weird, but
yeah, I guess
how
a different time
back
period.
In the day.
Yeah. So, anyways, they go off.
See, she agrees.
She agrees.
Very common back then. Yeah.
So she agrees. All right. So they move to Shawneetown, Kansas.
I'm sorry, it's Tracy.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Tracy.
I said Tracy at the beginning of the day, though. I'm pretty sure I did. But before they move off to Shawneetown, they do adopt Sarah.
Yeah.
And they take Sarah
not a lot of
into their
information
care as
out
well.
there about Sarah.
Can't find
what
anything.
happened to Sarah after.
Yeah, I can't find anything about what happened to where she came from or what happened to her
the last
after.
Reports,
the last thing is she was
boarding school in
Washington, D.C. when Elizabeth goes off to become a spy. And then I hear nothing after that. I can't find any reports of anything after that.
Yeah.
So she was in Kansas, and she is working as a school teacher again. She's trying to uphold the ideals of the Union and so on. And then we have the picnic thing with the kids and the flag, and husband gets shot and killed. So now we are back up to current state of affairs. So you got a little bit of her past.
Okay.
We know about the shooting, and now we're ready to move on to her.
Past the shooting.
Yes, to
Okay.
her time as a spy.
All right. So what happens next? You guys following along so far? You got the story so far? Because it's all going to start making sense here in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, so she goes, and of course, her husband's just shot and killed in front of her. She goes and becomes a Union sympathizer. She's not permitted to bury her husband, from reports that I've read. And so she gets messages off to Union individuals to come and take her husband, bury him somewhere.
She went to a fort, didn't she?
Yes.
Do you have the name of that?
Yes.
Oh, am I supposed to shut up?
Yes.
Okay. It's all yours. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the frogs. Me and the frogs be hanging out over here.
So she does this, and she gets this word to Union soldiers and takes care of some of the Union soldiers, but she's getting apparently threats on her life. I read one report that said she had $1,000 on her head before she even became a spy.
Keep going. I'm handling chat.
Okay. So before she even becomes a spy, she has $1,000 on her head. So she's very fearful. So
she had a bounty on her
yeah.
head. I didn't read that part.
Yeah. So almost immediately, she's like, we have to get out of here. So she bundles up her kids, and she gets some help from, I believe it was a gentleman named Hoyt, that helped get her to Fort Leavenworth.
Thank you. Fort Leavenworth. Name
Now,
sound familiar?
today, you go, they went to Leavenworth, and you're like, oh my gosh. But
that was the beginning.
this was the safety zone for her. So she goes to Fort Leavenworth with her children. And she continues, obviously, to help out where she can with the Union sympathies.
Sympathizers. Yeah.
She's a sympathy. She has, yes.
You know what we mean.
Yeah.
Did I mention I'm on vacation?
Word gets out that she's really doing well at this kind of stuff, and she has this medical type background. You know, she's really smart. She can handle a gun. So a lot of her background gets out, and this gets to Abraham Lincoln. And so 10 months after her husband is shot and killed, Abraham Lincoln sends word, we got to talk. I have work for you.
Yes. Abraham Lincoln himself.
Important work for you to do. So she says, this is my president. Sure, why not? Okay. So she says, this is my president. Of course I'm going to, you know. So she goes off to Washington, D.C. She takes her children with her, obviously. The two youngest, George and Sarah, are placed into a Washington, D.C. school. And
are you going to explain what they're seeing on the screen?
And she gets this letter from Abraham Lincoln that says, you're going to be working for the government now. You're going, and I want things to be taken care of for you, and this is the letter that you were just seeing on the screen that he took away now.
I'll put it back up. I'm just trying to follow what's going on in chat. This is the real thing, people live streaming. Fake news. Yep, paranormal mama. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So anyhow, she gets this letter basically introducing her as working for
This letter?
Yes, as introducing her as working for the United States from him, Abraham Lincoln.
They're asking if the letter can be read.
It's dated August 19th of 1863.
Oh, so you're going to read what it says?
Yes. It says...
Yes, she's going to read what it says.
It says, Secretary of War Stanton, please refer the bearer, Mrs. Stiles, to the proper place, if there is any, to present her claim for property destroyed by the rebels. Also, her application for employment. And it's signed by Abraham Lincoln. What's Paranormal Mama saying? I'm just...
Oh, there's mistakes. That was my disclaimer in the beginning. There are mistakes. No editing.
What did we miss?
No, just me stopping you or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So
and that, by the way, is Abraham Lincoln's
that
signature.
is-
I've seen it several times. A. Lincoln.
yes,
Yeah.
and it's signed August 19th. So this is when she officially becomes technically a member of the United States government, and she is officially deemed a military nurse. And that's not really what she was doing, though. I mean, she did do a lot of medical procedures, but she was there ultimately to be a spy.
I don't think this is in there,
Espionage.
so I'm going to say this. This is the tie to Madison Seminary. Because, remember I said in the beginning, Madison Seminary at one time was the national home for widows, orphans, and military
wives and
nurses,
and
like a nursing home for the military. It was free of charge for them to go there and live out their days. So by her being deemed part of the military,
right,
she was entitled to go to Madison Seminary in her later years.
And she kept this letter from Abraham Lincoln, and she had it sewn into a pocket that she had in her petticoat, in her dress, and she kept it with her throughout all her days. And when she died, it was found amongst her possessions, and then it was given to her family, and they kept it and they had it until I think it was the 1940s, and then it was purchased from the family by the Historical Society, and it is now at the Historical Society.
Yeah, it's at the Western Reserve Historical Society, which is now on our list to go to.
Yes.
Which might be part of
sort
our
of
little...
been there.
Well, we haven't. We've been by that
No, I
building
said
several times.
it's been there.
Oh, it's been there. I meant
It's
for
been
us
there
to go.
on our list to go
Oh, yeah,
there, or at least
yeah.
on mine. I don't
Yeah.
know about yours, but it's been
Yeah,
on
it
my
has. I
list.
mean, we've been up there several times past it. Hey, let's stop. Let's just go home. Now I want to go there because I want to see that letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So as the spy, she wears, as I said, a granny cap, and then this, of course, she's pretty and all, so she kind of dons some extra hair powders and things like that, and gets this, big old pipe, trying to make herself look different, and she takes
I could bring that picture.
Clara with her behind enemy lines.
Yep.
She leaves 2 of the children behind in school. She takes her 13-year-old Clara with her.
Behind the enemy lines.
Yeah.
So Clara wasn't commissioned to be, was she?
So
or
she
somewhat was?
She doesn't have an official letter from Abraham Lincoln like Elizabeth does, but she and her mother officially resigned their commission in
So maybe
November
she
of
did.
1864. So, she was working for them, whether or not it was in an official capacity or she just joined up with Elizabeth and that was just part of Elizabeth's persona that she, built for herself, or if she was official. Don't know. There's no list there. So, as I said, she's commissioned when?
Oh, I changed it.
Oh, you changed it already? Date? She's commissioned
1863.
Yeah.
It's close to when he died.
Unfortunately,
isn't it? Didn't he die in 63?
Unfortunately, little tiny problem. They forgot to swear her in.
So she's commissioned in 1863. What was the assassination year of Abraham Lincoln? I'm drawing a blank. I thought it was around...
I thought it was 64. I thought it was April.
Oh, 65. It was after 65.
65.
Yeah. It was
April.
a week after
65.
the Civil War was over. Yeah. So this is a couple of years before.
Yeah. So she goes out. She's doing all kinds of these things. She shoots somebody who comes up and tries to arrest them at one point. She is actually taken into custody another time, but she doesn't. If you want to show them that picture that I have,
this one?
No,
that
one. Yeah.
Okay.
So she's doing all of this. She's behind enemy lines. She's traveling through 19 states, working in the Confederate hospitals and everything, and she doesn't officially get commissioned until 1864. So she's at it for quite some time.
So she wasn't getting paid? Basically, she was doing it for free?
I don't know how they paid their spies.
She got a big check to get caught up.
I mean, she did have the note from Abraham Lincoln going, dude, he said so.
Yeah.
But they didn't officially swear her in. So that letter that you have there, that I circled that date in yellow there, that was her oath, swearing her allegiance to the Union.
Yeah.
So she
and
finally
again, folks,
does that.
those of you joining us, again, we're going to put links to this off of the Madison Seminary page on Panic D. The link to that is in the description. It's not there yet, but we will be doing it soon, either tonight or tomorrow, because in preparation for this, we found all this stuff, which
very
is
cool
awesome.
stuff.
So we knew the story
right.
a little bit, but we wanted to dig a little bit deeper so we knew
what
we were talking about. Because
that's how we are. We want to go deeper.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some other people that popped in, I see. I recognized Passion for Hunting and Fishing Taxidermy came in. So welcome to you. Down the Rabbit Hole. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Down the Rabbit Hole's got to go to dinner.
Dinner time.
Eat up.
Yeah.
Hope you're having something good.
Yeah. We had our dinner first this time.
Yeah.
Normally we don't. But anyhow, let's talk about some problems she had along her way.
Let's.
All right. So
it wasn't always
perfect.
Roses and whatever.
She runs into a little bit of a problem while in Missouri. So she is arrested in Jefferson City under the suspicion of being a spy. And she is taken and given an audience with General Sterling Price. Okay? So she's under arrest for suspicion of being a spy, and he's like totally shocked when she comes in. They're like, we have the spy, and it's a woman. And he's like, okay, so he's under this immediate shock, but then he decides he'll question her, and he talks with her, and as he talks with her, he learns more information and all these things. We don't know exactly what she said, but by the end of the conversation, he does in fact believe that she is a spy. But he doesn't think she's a spy for the Union. He thinks she's a spy for them, for the Confederacy. So what's he do? He feeds her And then he releases her, but not before he gives her some new horses, because, you know, they had confiscated hers, so now they got to get her some new horses, give her some better guns, because, well, she needs better guns than what she has. If she's going to be a spy for them, she's got to have the best. So he literally gives her all of these things.
Loads her up.
And sends her on her way.
Lets her go.
Lets her go. Nobody knows for sure what she said.
Remember in the beginning I said she was a very intelligent woman?
Yes. She apparently was able to use the best Southern accent that she had, and she was able to make him believe that she was from the South. And she was indeed this granny, but she was going to find out some information about those Northern Yankees and take care of them.
You're going to scare Boris.
So anyhow, she gets away, and then eventually in November of '64, her and her Clara, they do resign their commission because she gets word that they find out that, you know, we know who she is. We've seen her around. We've heard about her. It's not looking good. She's not going to get away again if she gets captured. So she does resign her commission and finish up her days as a spy.
Yeah.
Not before she, you know, hangs out in, you know, barns in the, you know, hay and feces and things like that, listening to all the, you know, people she hears, and hanging out in the bars and listening to those loose-lipped rebels, you know, talking about all the stuff that they know. And, you know, she does all kinds of great things and gets a lot of good intel for the Union before she does resign her commission.
Okay. So, after that, after she's done with the military, resigned and everything, and her daughter resigned and everything, we lose some short time period where, you know, obviously the kids grow up. Yeah.
But she eventually moves.
The war's over.
The war is over. She eventually moves to Pennsylvania with her stepson George. So George is where she's going to spend the majority of her elderly life. And then she... Keep going there, dear. She moves just before the end of her life to Madison Seminary in 1895. So she spends a great deal of time here with George until she moves to Madison. This is Madison. If you haven't seen Madison, this is the Ohio Cottage portion. To the right is the Civil War wing.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Didn't put that picture on
that's
there,
okay.
But that's probably where she was.
To my understanding, they utilize the whole building. So it's not like, you know, in 1891 they added the Ohio Cottage on, and then in 1895 she moved in there. She spends 3 years there, and then she dies. So she dies in 1898 on July 18th, and then she is buried just down the street, about 3 houses down, basically.
1 acre away from Madison Seminary is the way it's described.
Okay.
There's a cemetery there, and that's where she's buried.
Yes.
And we have a little video for you. And hopefully this doesn't crash on us.
Yeah,
if
hopefully.
it does, we will pop back quickly. So we got like a 1-minute video for you because we actually went down there to the cemetery. So we were going to give this a shot and play this. If OBS does crash, like I said, we will pop back in. So do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right? If we don't get back,
we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Have confidence.
I'm positive. I'm on vacation. I'm positive. All right, so give us a minute. Watch this video. We'll be right back.
How about now?
How
Do we
about
have
now?
sound
We
now?
back?
Is that all better?
Should be back now. My bad. I'm sorry.
Did you hit the wrong button?
No, I know what I did.
Okay.
I know what I did. You guys, coming up. Actually,
Your mom says no sound too.
well, there's a little bit of buffer there, so just put coming soon. Let us know when you guys hear us. You
Yes.
should be hearing us shortly.
You should be hearing us whining now. Or me yapping.
Yep, there we go.
All
All right, that's my fault. I apologize. I set that video up for the first time and I made it automatically go to the camera, but I didn't add the microphone.
Okay.
Hey, but at least OBS didn't crash. And have I told you guys I'm on vacation? I've told her 20 times already. All right, so let me do that again.
Rewind.
All right, so in that video, you saw a couple that was with us. That's Bill and Katie from PSPR Paranormal. Okay, so you guys should go over and check his channel out because he's putting out videos about Madison, about the paranormal investigation. His stuff is more about the paranormal investigation. Our video that we're going to put out tomorrow is we're just going to pull out some clips, not of all night long. We were there till 1:30. They stayed until the thing was over, I think at 3. Did you guys stay till 3? I think it was. But he's got some better footage, and that's kind of like how his videos are laid out, like a paranormal investigation.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, they were there with us, so that was actually kind of cool. It was a fun night.
Yeah.
It was a fun night. Yeah. So, well, hey, OBS didn't crash. That's awesome. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Did you guys like that little video, though? That's the cemetery. That's where Elizabeth is buried.
Yeah.
We showed you her gravestone and had a little selfie taken there.
Yeah.
So
we actually even skipped the first section of the investigation to run down there because I wanted to go to Elizabeth's grave. So.
Yeah. All right. So you got control of chat again, right?
I have chat.
You got chat. All right.
Yes, so PSPR said that, yes,
here.
that was till 3 a.m.
All right, I can grow back up here now and monitor the health, which we are good. All right. Okay.
So Sid Hearth is here, says it's morning there, and he was thinking about us, and we showed up. So that's kind
awesome.
of cool. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Flubin Epic wants to know what I stole from there. I didn't steal anything from the cemetery, but remember I did purchase those little vials of Madison Seminary. I showed them to you on last live stream, but I can grab them. They're right over there if we want them. It could be from her. It could be from her room. We don't know. It could be. They could be from her Elizabeth's room.
But that's brick dust, isn't it?
There's wood pieces and pieces of brick. Yeah. Little slivers of
so
wood.
So she didn't have to steal anything because they had it for sale.
No, they had it for sale.
Some of these places are getting our suggestion to do this.
Yeah. I suggested to a couple of places that they should do that, and now a couple of places have.
Yeah. So then she doesn't have to be a thief.
Yeah. I don't want to have to be. So, no.
All right, so before we move forward, because we have some more information that we found, okay, and this is where we're going to start putting questions out to you guys to see what you think, okay? Mm-hmm. You heard the story of Elizabeth and how it brings her into Madison. So we're just going to recap real quick because we have new people in the chat, and we're just going to go over the timeline real quick, okay? All right. I know we're going to be repeating ourselves, but just to kind of
this is a recap for those of you who are just joining us, who haven't been here the whole time, or to help you remember some of the things earlier in the story.
Yeah. Okay, so Elizabeth Stiles was born in East Ashtabula, August 21st, 1816. By the age of 5, her father teaches her to ride a horse and shoot a gun. The mother teaches her basic nursing skills. In 1837, at the age of 21, she moves to Chicago on her own and supports herself as a school teacher and seamstress. Mm-hmm. In 1846, she marries her husband, Jacob.
Good job there, dear.
There you go. 1858, her sister,
Emmeline.
Yeah,
Emmeline. So I found 2 different spellings for that, by the way. So
Okay.
I gave you both.
Emmeline.
Emmeline.
Eldolf, she dies. Elizabeth and Jacob move to Kansas City and take over Emmeline's children, George and Clara. 1859, Elizabeth and Jacob adopt another child named Sarah. Is Tracy still with us? Okay. All right. Also in 1859, after a third child was adopted, they moved to Shawneetown, Kansas. You guys get that? Shawneetown?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. June 1861, official name changes for George and Clara.
Yeah, I found a Senate Assembly book that kind of went through all of the different bills that were being passed. And so in June of 1861, on page 356 of this guide, Bill 256 was a act to change the name of Clara Elizabeth Dolph and George Osmond Dolph to that of Clara Elizabeth Dolph Stiles and George Osmond Dolph Stiles. So it was officially a bill to have that name change. And what I found interesting was that there were 15 yays and 4 nays to that particular bill.
Yeah,
so there were
the
4 people
that
who said
no.
And actually, I could tell you that because I did list their names, but I won't now.
Okay.
Because you're doing the timeline.
All right.
But I
Okay.
just wanted to share.
October 1862. As a school teacher, Elizabeth carried a U.S. flag while walking students to a picnic and was threatened. Also in October of 1862, which you said it was the same day?
It's theoretically the same day.
Okay.
I did have reports that he came to town on the 17th, and then the 25th, it was in the newspaper, so it's somewhere in between.
This is when her husband was shot by George Todd and from the Quintrell gang, and she was spared because she was deemed too pretty to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, then she moves to Fort Leavenworth for safety. 10 months later, on August 19th, 1963, Lincoln calls for her service, provides a letter of introduction that she keeps until her death. She is employed as a Civil War nurse, but in reality is a spy for the Union.
That she is.
All right, so she dons the persona of an old Southern woman looking for the father of a grandchild who is wounded. The father was wounded, but not the grandchild. Okay. And travels through 19 states with Clara, which is her adopted 13-year-old daughter.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. She performs minor amputations. Yeah, that just gets me right there. And changes dressings, etc., as she looks for information to pass on to the Union. She's arrested in Jefferson City and is questioned by General Sterling Price as a potential spy, but ends up leaving with fresh horses, better guns, well-fed, convincing the general that she was a Confederate spy, not a Union spy. On November 1864, she resigns her commission, and
sometime
she moves in with her son George until 1895, where she
moves
to the Madison Women's Relief Corps home in Madison.
Yes.
And is that it?
And then she dies.
And then she passes away July 18th of 1898.
Yes.
So, wait just a second because I got the wrong screen. There we go. All right, so that's a quick little bring you up to date of what we were talking about. Are we ready to go a step further?
Always.
Are you guys in chat ready? Because this is going to take a little interesting turn. Okay. Now, have you guys heard? You guys watch the ghost shows on TV, right?
I'm sure some of them do.
Okay, so there's one out there called The Haunted Collector.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Zaffis.
Yes.
John Zaffis.
Yes. Which is a relative of the Warrens.
He is related to Ed Warren.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's how he got started.
That's how he got started. Hanging out with his uncle.
And you're probably saying, who's Ed Warren? Does anybody know who Ed Warren is?
Please say no.
Or not know who
please
Ed
say
Warren
I don't
is?
know. Or please don't say you don't know who Ed Warren is.
Yeah. Does anybody know who What's his wife's name? I'm drawing a blank too.
Oh my gosh. She's the one who's still alive. Come on, PSPR, you tell me real quick.
She owns Annabelle.
All I can think of is Elizabeth right now, and I can't even think of any other female name except for Elizabeth.
Historians. Yeah. Anyways, okay. The Conjuring movies and all that stuff is based on the cases by Ed and Lorraine Warren. She's actually the owner of Annabelle and other haunted items in her museum. But John Zaffis is related to them.
Yes.
And he also has a museum of
haunted
items. Haunted items. Mm-hmm. But the show, The Haunted Collector, actually did an episode on the Madison Seminary. Okay, and what their show basically is about, they go in and perform a paranormal investigation and they find some sort of item that could possibly be causing the haunting.
Right.
Or the paranormal activity.
Correct.
And you were able to get that show on Amazon, right?
Yes, you can buy on Amazon all 3 seasons of The Haunted Collector.
Yeah, so due to copyright issues, we can't show that to you.
Right, but it is season 3, season 3, episode 11, if you're interested in watching that.
Yeah. So in summary, they found...
behind some lath boards in the wall.
Yeah. They talked about the story of Elizabeth Stiles, like we did with you guys. Mm-hmm. But then they found a bonnet that was hidden in the wall. And
a shirt.
Which, that's a picture of the bonnet right there on the left.
On the far left, on the bottom, you'll see a picture of a package that they found in the wall. And then when they opened it up, you see...
both of them were in that package.
Yes. Then you see in the second green one, is sort of in the middle, that's the bonnet when they pulled it out. And then he took those items. There was a shirt and that in there as well. He took them to have them examined. And you see that at the top right-hand side, you see the shirt that has some bullet holes in it, and then you see at the bottom right hand corner, you see the bonnet that was found.
Okay, so interesting thing about these items that we need to point out. Okay, Number one, the bonnet was a normal bonnet from the late 1800s. Right. They called it
an indoor bonnet.
Indoor bonnet. It would have been something that a woman would wear inside the home, but it had pockets in it.
It had pockets sewn in it.
And Elizabeth Stiles was known to hide stuff in her dress and in her hair and things like that. But I first read the transcript of this show, and then I said to Marianne, we have to find this and watch this, because the shirt that was with it had bullet holes. Mm-hmm. All of the reports and research that we did, Elizabeth wasn't shot. She got away. She was too pretty to shoot. So what's the deal here with this shirt with the bullet holes? Okay? So we started digging a little bit deeper, and guess what we found out?
Dun, dun, dun!
There was another female spy that was at Madison Seminary.
There was. There were 2.
There are records out there on the internet, and we're going to link to this too. Mm-hmm. It was a report written in 1905, November 15th of 1905, from Madison Seminary to the governor of Ohio. Okay? And in this report, they talked about how they were going to spend money and the buildings they were going to tear down and and redo and things like that. But there was also a roll of members of people who were staying at Madison at the time.
Right.
Right up on the top of that is Mary E. Truesdale from Alabama. Remember, this was a national home. Mm-hmm. Okay. Her relationship was Union spy.
Yep.
Okay. So... maybe what they found on the Haunted Collector
was
didn't belong to Elizabeth.
Mary's, not Elizabeth.
Yeah.
So I tried to do a little
We don't have any
research.
documentation on that, but this is just something that we
Yeah.
found that we thought was, that's interesting.
Yeah, I tried to do a little internet research, and I haven't come up with anything. We'll have to probably go to a library,
Yeah.
and have them tell us. Did you Google it? But we did not find anything that said that Mary was shot either. However, we didn't find anything saying she wasn't.
No.
So interesting that there were 2 Union spies staying at Madison Seminary. Both of them could have had the possibility of putting those there. And since we had no reports of Elizabeth having been shot, and we know that her story is very well documented, it seems to me a little bit more unlikely that this is hers and more likely that it might be Mary's.
Yeah.
Now, according to the show, Haunted Collector, they did report that after this was removed from Madison Seminary, the haunting did decrease and they didn't have any more
they
issues.
didn't say the haunting decreased. They said the negativity decreased.
Yes. The negative haunting
right,
of the
say
woman.
The activity decreased. They said the negativity of the woman apparition that was negative decreased.
Yes.
Because I was watching for that and I played
Yeah.
it back. You know,
Okay.
if they said, hey, we got rid of it.
Yeah.
They didn't say that.
Right.
They worded it because
Right.
there is a lot of activity there.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. But as far as when they took this away, the negative things did seem to cease.
Yeah. So, are we ready for questions for our viewers? It's quiz time.
It's quiz time, yeah.
No,
so
these are no
they think,
right or wrong
ooh,
questions.
a plot twist. They want to now know her story. So do we.
Yeah, we do too. We couldn't find anything about her.
I literally looked all over the place for information about Union spies, female Union spies. I looked for her name, and all I can find is just her find a grave report and things like that. Obviously,
but
this
we do
report,
have a lead.
But we have a lead, so we have places.
And we do
to
plan
start.
on going back to Madison and spend a couple days so we can hit the local.
Yeah.
history
Now,
and stuff.
just want to point out also, she is also buried in the same cemetery as Elizabeth.
And we didn't know it at the time.
We didn't
but
know
we
it.
Went down, but we know exactly where the grave is.
One row behind her, and about 5 plots over.
Yeah.
Because Elizabeth's is in row 4, plot 20, and Mary is in row 5, plot 15.
Yeah.
So they're literally
And
like...
we tried bringing the pictures up because Marianne took still pictures too, and
Yeah.
like zoom in, and we can't match up the find a grave picture to
Right. So
what
we have
we
to go
already
back.
have in a picture. So, hey, PSPR, we gotta go back, man.
We gotta go back.
Gotta go back. So,
Yeah.
very interesting. And then I just came up on that report as a fluke. I can't find any others. So
Flub
you want
and
to handle
Epic.
chat for a couple minutes?
Yeah, Flub and Epic says if you don't stop interrupting, the negativity of Marianne will increase.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Marianne and let her chat for a minute. I'll be right back. All right?
Okay. So, Tracy, you mentioned Ancestry website. Sean actually has, we pay for an Ancestry website. He's never given me the passcode or even the account that it's under. So I haven't actually done that through them. There's obviously got to be somebody out there who is related to her, and I'm sure that that'll be in there at some point. So we will be checking on that. Maybe Sean will share his information with his wife. I don't know. I've only been his wife for almost 12 years now. You'd think he'd let me have access to that. So did they stay in the same room? I don't know. They at Madison Seminary, they didn't even mention this other Union spy. They didn't mention Mary at all. So I don't know if they don't know about her. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I take that back. they do know about her because they did make a post. I found when I was researching her, they made a post on their Facebook page in 2017 about her. So they do know she existed, but they didn't mention her. So I don't know if it's because they don't know much about her story. I would have thought they would have said, hey, by the way, there was a second Union spy here too. Don't know much about her, but they didn't even mention her, like she didn't exist. And when we said we were going over to the seminary or the cemetery, they didn't mention it either. So I don't know if they really just don't know much about her and that's why they didn't kind of mention it. But I don't know if they were in the same room or not. They did say that most of the time they were two people to a room. So maybe they might have been bunkmates. Don't know for sure. That would be interesting if they were, though. Can you imagine the stories they could tell each other?
If they were bunkmates?
Yeah.
Like share stories.
Yeah. I don't know. So,
Boris.
don't kick Boris.
I did.
Stop kicking Boris.
I
He will
didn't
kick
do
you
it
in your
on
sleep.
purpose.
He will kick you in your sleep.
Get off my back, devil one.
So anyhow, PSPR says let's do it. So he's ready to go back. And they think we should do a little ancestry checking out.
Yeah, I heard you saying that. Now that I'm on vacation,
Oh gosh, here he goes again.
I'm going to figure out like that account because now that we're doing this with these guys,
Yeah.
that's a useful tool, you know. And you may have to do a pot due
when I
and
find out
come
some
back
more about
with
her.
this.
Yeah.
But,
So.
all right, so we got some questions for our viewers here,
Questions.
just to see what you think.
Yeah.
So question number 1. So if you were given the chance, would you be able to do what Elizabeth did? You know, like as far as espionage, amputations, you know, that kind of stuff? What do you think? Would you be able to do that? You know, husband shot. Are you serious? She's not watching chat, folks. She's bidding on a freaking item on. We're supposed to be getting our questions back. All right, I'll bring up chat.
It's okay. It's all right.
She's
I still
on
have like
eBay.
I have like 30 seconds before I put my bid in, so I'm good.
I look over. She's on eBay.
I knew it was almost time. Sorry, guys. I'm addicted. You know that. I'll let you know if I win. So anyhow, did they pass at the same time? No. Mary died in 2006.
I look over at the chat you're on, and I'm on eBay. I got like 3 minutes left.
So anyhow, they did not live at the same time, or did not die at the same time. She died in 2006.
Hurry up, you got 57 seconds.
I know. She died in 1906, and Elizabeth died in 1898.
We're gonna see if she's gonna win this auction here. What are we bidding on?
I'll tell you if I win. If I don't win, I'm not telling you.
Well, okay.
I'm currently the high bidder with 27 seconds left.
She won't tell me. She won't tell me what she's bidding on.
Oh no, it's going up. I have 12 seconds. Oh, they're bidding me up. 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh,
you lost.
I just lost it.
She lost it.
I lost.
By a buck.
By
what
a
was
dollar.
it? Original wood from, what was it?
Robert E. Lee's headquarters in Gettysburg.
She lost it.
I lost it. With 3 seconds left, they learned from me.
All right, can we get back to our live stream
Yes.
now?
Okay.
Could you bring up chat?
Yeah. Let me bring up chat.
Deleting eBay from our network. Sorry, folks.
All right. So they want to know what I was bidding on. Was it a digital recorder? No, I did that earlier in the week. Was it Elizabeth's bonnet? No, but boy, I would be on that one. But that's currently with the Haunted Collector. Was it a playmate for Boris? No. But did you see the tweet I put out from Boris today?
No,
or that Boris put out today?
I didn't.
There was a picture of two skeletons, like, taking a picture with a phone, and one of them was doing bunny ears to the other one, and I said that it was, you know, his relatives trying to catch up to his selfies or something like that. I don't know.
That's funny. All right, so next question.
What, did you give them any question?
Yeah, I asked them the first one. Could they do it? People were saying no. Somebody said they can't even handle a nosebleed. I think that was flubbing epic.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, so next question.
So they can't handle amputations or espionage? Wow. I could handle the amputations.
Oh, I guess I should have asked you. Could you do it? Oh, of course you could handle amputations.
I don't know if I could do the espionage. Like, I might be able to, but I'm not, like, one for, like, horrible situations like that I could get myself into. But I know that I had a little bit of espionage training as a teacher. You know, you listen for things.
Deal with them in the classroom.
You listen for things. You gotta, you know, pay attention. I even had one time when I had a principal that had come to me, told me specifically to watch this one child in particular because they had heard some rumors, and so I felt that was some espionage. So, you know, I wasn't allowed to tell anyone else, and it was crazy. But I could definitely do the amputations. I might be able to do some basic espionage, but, you know, that whole bullets flying thing, I might not be able to handle that part.
Amputations and eBay. You start buying amputation. I'm right now. Bring that up. Oh, okay. Can we do the next question,
please?
If
the National Medical
Museum
would let me.
I'm on vacation now. I'm going to be monitoring eBay. All right. Okay. So, question number 2: would you leave 2 of your children and put another in the path of danger, all for revenge and for your country? Basically.
T-Throng says yes. Tracy. Wow. Where's my DeWalt?
For the amputations, DeWalt power tools. Would you?
Would I would think that I probably couldn't. I mean, when I first question this, I look at it and say, they weren't really her children. She didn't birth any of them. But she adopted them. And, you know, like, even a puppy, you know, you bring that into your house and you're crying, you know, 3 years later if it dies or, you know, runs away or anything. Oh, yep, I hear your little frogs. Your frogs are here. Flubanific wants to know which child, if they could pick which child goes into danger.
Could you pick which one? Let's see, I'm taking...
I think she did.
So she took Clara with her.
Yes.
Sarah was in a boarding school.
And so was George.
And George was in a boarding school.
Yes.
In D.C.
In D.C.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I would think that I wouldn't be able to leave them, separate them, but at the same time, I could see being able to leave them for their protection. But then, why take one of them? You know? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, one of them was her alibi.
Right.
So to speak.
Right. But,
you know,
like, how do you...
For the
like
father.
Flob Epic says, can I choose which one? Like...
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Although I guess she was 13, so she was kind of older, you know. She did, by the way, get married not long after she came back, when she was, I think, 17. After she resigned, Clara got married. I think it was at 17. So.
All right. Next question. Is it possible the bonnet and the shirt that was found at Madison Seminary could have belonged to Mary Truesdale instead of Elizabeth?
Yeah. What do you guys think?
That a little bit,
yeah, but what do you guys think? Do you think that it could have been
that?
hers instead of Elizabeth's?
Do you think it was Mary's instead of Elizabeth's? Because on the show they said it was Elizabeth's. But I don't think that they knew. You know, that report back when that show aired, which I don't know when it was, but that might not have been on the internet yet. And they might, you know, who would think to go to Columbus to find that report.
True.
And that's the only one that's on there that's archived, was 1905, and that's was there since 18 something, you know.
Yeah.
And it was an annual report.
It was 1847 was when the original building was built, and then 1891 it was the Women's Relief Corps, and I saw that. And so then I believe it was 1904 when they said they couldn't handle the monetary expenses of the facility anymore, and they sold it off to the government then. So that could explain why 1905 is the report that we find, and we didn't find them before that because they weren't really reporting it to anybody before that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. So was it a female shirt? To my knowledge, it was.
Yes, they said it was female. It was a female shirt and bonnet. Which I said, wait a minute. Elizabeth wasn't shot. But then they come up and they said that back in the day, okay, I guess we should have told them that. But back in the day, women wore corsets made out of whalebone.
Right.
And she could have been shot, but it didn't injure her. I don't buy that. I really don't buy that, because look at the story of Jenny Wade. She was shot right through the back to the heart.
Yeah, but was she wearing a corset?
Well, it would have been at the same time frame. You know, the Battle of Gettysburg, same time frame. They would have wore the same type of clothing.
Yeah.
She was in the house baking, so she would have had that same type of bonnet on, you know, kind of thing. So I don't think it was Elizabeth. That's just my...
I like PSPR's thing there. That's the one I think you were giggling about that I was also giggling about, was take the kid that can run the fastest.
You don't have to be quick. You just have to be the fastest.
So we got Flub and Epic says, can I choose which kid to put in danger? And PSPR that says, take the kid that can run the fastest.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
All right, so next question. So Tracy's still in here.
Yeah,
she brought
Tracy,
this up a while ago.
This one's like totally for you.
Okay. What happened to Sarah? We don't know. Could she be the Sarah that's being reported at Madison Seminary in that one room? The child's room.
Yeah.
You know?
So there are reports, for those of you who haven't heard anything about the hauntings of Madison Seminary yet.
Yeah, if you didn't watch our Ghost Stories and Folklore video.
Sarah is one of the most active ghosts of Madison Seminary. And she is supposedly a young girl. And
the story behind it was that she was left when Madison was a boarding school. But, you know, stories could have got crossed, and she passed away. So did the spirit come to be with Elizabeth?
Or is it somebody different?
And then the reports go even further that there's a male figure there that either protects or whatever Sarah when things get a little out of hand. Could that be George? Could be.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's other reports that say that in the cemetery you can find a person who is one of the ghosts and her father who died just a couple years after her.
Yeah.
And there's question as to whether or not they are the ones who are Sarah and this male figure. But it could be George and
what I was saying
Sarah.
in the beginning, the way we do investigations a little different is now that we know this information, and our videos that we're going to try to put some out tomorrow, you'll see we're trying to communicate with Elizabeth. Now I would try to... Sarah, is George here with you? Did you come back to be with your mother?
Yeah.
Those questions like that we would ask during the EVP sessions now that we have some knowledge.
Right.
Because, and I've said this in many, many, many other videos that we've done, we're not sensitive. We don't have that ability to tap into that. Some people who are, that would come to them to ask those questions.
Right.
They just might not have the historical knowledge, like, who's Elizabeth? I'm picking up Elizabeth, but they might not know the background. So we have to do a little bit more homework, so to speak, and that's the way we approach paranormal research.
True.
So.
Well, some of our guests here, our fans, they think, it could be the same Sarah.
It's all possible. It's potential, and the only way to tell would be to continually go back and question and dig more research, like at the local libraries, or try to piece the puzzle together. So, which is the fun part of why we do this. But there's so many. We've done so many that it's like we're running out of time. I feel like I'm fighting against the time clock. Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
What?
Flubba and Epic says, I'm still trying to figure out how to communicate with a woman. A living one.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. And PSPR says, why didn't we know this before the investigation? Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Time.
Yeah.
Time. If we would have had time.
Yeah, if we didn't have these, like, job things, we could just sit around and research all day long.
Concerts.
That would be awesome. But I find it very interesting that nobody mentioned it from Madison Seminary as possibilities. Like, they didn't even mention, like, I hadn't seen, I saw some Haunted Collector things, but I didn't watch all of the episodes, and I hadn't seen this one.
No.
About Madison Seminary, and I'm surprised they didn't mention
Elizabeth
it.
Stiles, this, and it popped up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, Haunted Collector was there. Let's see what they have to say. And I didn't even look. I don't even know if Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, all those guys were there. We've got some more digging to do.
Yeah, so I don't know why Madison Seminary individuals didn't mention it at all. Although everybody that's there now, to my knowledge, none of them were there at the time, because that was before he bought the building.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah,
they might not be bringing it up because they don't have firsthand knowledge. True. But then again, do we all have firsthand knowledge? Well, I'm not saying that
this is all 100% true. I'm just throwing it out there as a potential theory.
Yeah.
A lead to do more research.
Yeah, but I'm just surprised that they didn't.
But I don't want anybody from Madison to get on here and say, or anybody else that's in, because I haven't even looked at other. That'd be interesting too, is to pull up other teams that've been there that have videos out and see what they're picking up in their EVP sessions, like George, who's George? That kind of thing. And then look at this framework of this theory and see if the puzzles fit.
Yeah.
Or the pieces fit to the puzzle.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is... The story of Elizabeth is true, but these are just potential theories. Okay, so question number 5. What do you think Elizabeth told the general to get released? What do you think? Could you imagine being a fly on that wall to hear that conversation? Yeah. That would be interesting.
So Tracy wants to know where the Sarah haunting came from. From what we understand, she was supposedly a young girl that was left behind.
Yeah, that's just something that's carried through the history of what they
as far as who exactly it is, we don't know. Although the gist of what I got was that they think it's this person in the cemetery and her father. But
I heard that she was left there and passed away when she was there when it was a boarding school. But some of the reports, and you get this at almost every location you get to, there's some vagueness to it. When like the questions that you're asking, where'd that come from? What do you really, they're storytellers basically, and they're just kind of tell you the story. To take it a step further and actually perform the deep research, we go out and do these ghost tours and go and hear these little things, and then we kind of, well, it might not have been Sarah, it could have been Clara, or it could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
So. All right, so what are they saying about that one? What do you think Elizabeth told the general?
They haven't said anything. I don't know that they know.
What do you think she told him? How do you think that she talked her way out of that one? This guy's a general. He's pretty smart, I would assume. I would make that assumption.
You would hope
he made it to the level of general.
You would hope that he would be. I mean, there are people who get promoted just for the, sake of being promoted, but usually not to general.
Buy their way to general, but still. that the last?
Yeah. So Flub and Epic says no clue. Tracy says she persuaded him. And PSPR
you think it was a little
PSPR says I have some ideas, but this is a G-rated show. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, she supposedly had a really good Southern accent that she was able to use.
Oh, here we go again.
But I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know what she said? What do you think she said? I kind of agree. She may have been a little bit, but... Well,
but she was playing a grandmother role, although he was a little older too.
Basically, she talked him into the fact that she was a spy.
But for the other, yeah.
So that old grandma thing, was
so you
up.
Think that maybe she is like, yeah, I'm not really grandma.
Yeah.
Look at me. See the
Shut
back
the
of my
door
hair.
there, General.
See the back of my hair is dark and the front is powdered.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What's going on?
Could have. But, again, there's reports of her being really intelligent.
Flub and Epic says, I mean, I know what my wife tells me when she wants something. Not that it ever happens, but it works.
Could be. It's possible.
Never know. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But he did think she was a spy, but she convinced him she was a spy for his side. So maybe she had something that she gave to him, that gave him up something that was union oriented. Maybe that
you mean like a double spy?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not saying she was a double spy, but saying something that she had that maybe he knew was
Are you
true.
saying she just gave something up?
Maybe that he knew something. Maybe
we're
that he
skirting
knew.
That letter G, aren't we?
I was going along the idea that maybe she said
PG.
something that was something that he already knew that the union had done, or something that she was, saying, "Hey, I have this information," but that she knew he would know already.
To kind of
that it kind of was like, oh, she does have information about the union movements or something like that for us. So
yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
But
I see what you're saying.
I don't think
I follow you.
Yeah, I don't think that she would have given anything up that would have really caused harm to the Union Army. She was very much for the Union.
Now that I think about this too, along the lines of what we're talking about, her giving her stuff up. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to remember too, the Southern Confederacy killed her husband and drove her to the point of doing this and becoming a spy. So, would she despise these people? You know what I'm saying? Like, not go to that point? Or
do you think
would
she really
just talk her way out of it?
Do you think she really enjoyed those amputations?
Oh, yeah. She's like, here we go. I'll take care of that one.
Especially
he don't
if
need
she
any whiskey.
Can you imagine, if she recognized one of them, just like...
Man. Yeah. Should I take it off at the neck?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, guys. Do you have any questions for us about this case? I think we took almost everything we found. There are a couple little tidbits here and there, but I think we kind of covered a lot of it. But now's the time. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and ask them, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability.
I think they just all think that she just gave up some of her
Come on,
sweets.
She let her hair down. Literally.
So, questions from you. They got quiet.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of a lag.
There is a little bit of a lag. We can just sit here and listen to the nice little...
Do you guys ever go back to the place and bring this new info with you to see what they say? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. That's why I say we've been to Well, let's just call it 200. We've been to 200 places, but done well over 300 investigations because there are places that we do go back to. Now, the far ones, like out in California and stuff like that, no. Like Hillview Manor,
haven't.
Stagecoach Inn, J.C. Thompson, which we haven't done those episodes, those locations yet.
Right.
Because we just have so much, and I got to figure out how we're going to do it because there's multiple times we've been there.
That's the problem with when we go multiple times. It's like piecing together.
But yes, we do.
Stuff.
And Madison is close to us. It's like an hour and 10 minutes, so we will be going back to Madison.
Yeah.
Yes. If it's close, we go back. Or if for somehow we luck out and we got to go back there for her conference, or we're definitely going back to St. Augustine, knowing what we know now. Mm-hmm. And we wrote a book about it, so we're definitely going back there and hitting some of that stuff up. So I love the frogs. Yeah, you know what? It kind of gives a little bit of ambiance.
Yeah, Tracy says it's like sitting around a campfire.
Yeah.
Haunted stories around the campfire.
Well, that's an idea that I'm going to have if we do some camping this summer when we do our Let's Talk Paranormal. Although it's live at 5, we might have to maybe go a little later, be around the campfire and tell some stories.
Sid says frogs to amputate. We let those frogs be. Although Sean doesn't like them, they make too much noise. But he's starting to get used to them.
I get used to it, Frogs, gunshots, traffic. You get used to it here in Youngstown. Although we haven't heard any gunshots in a while. But this is June, 21st?
Yes.
Pretty shortly, we're going to start hearing you guys probably in the next week or so when we go live. You guys are going to be hearing fireworks. It goes on for like a week around here. We feel like we're being attacked. It's crazy. So Laura Wilson, Laura, I saw I think I replied back to you. Laura's a recent new sub. We'll be checking out some of your videos this weekend when I have some free time. Okay, so those of you who are new, we go live at 5 every Saturday. And when we go live on Let's Talk Paranormal, we give something away. So that show is kind of like open. It's called Let's Talk Paranormal, and you guys just come on. We have fun. We play games, and we do that. That's normally our slot for our live shows. What we did tonight was more of documenting a case surrounding a location that we're featuring. So every week we feature a new location that we have visited. Mm-hmm. And so we did like the Sealy Rose one live too, which was great. Like tonight, I love this, going back and forth with you guys and hammering out these theories and seeing what you guys think about it too. So I love this series, which is Behind the Haunting. And we'll have to do more of these, but we can't. There's so much research that goes behind these, or rereading stuff that we've already done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it does take some time to put these together, but we can't do them every week. There's just no way.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Plus, some locations
you
really
don't have
lean towards having some hidden history story, and some not so much. So we don't do one of the Behind the Hauntings for every location, but
just if we find something really good,
Yeah.
we're going to start doing some of the Gettysburg stuff coming up here, because we are going to go to Gettysburg again this summer.
Again. So there's another one of those multiple trip ones.
So do we go back? Yeah, we've been to Gettysburg. This will be our fourth time, something like that. But the Jenny Wade house, we've been there. We've investigated there. We've toured it 2-3 times. We'll probably go back this summer.
Probably again, yeah.
I definitely have to go back and get B-roll footage, but we're staying like right next to the Jenny Wade house. Mm-hmm. But the story of Jenny Wade is awesome. We'll do a Behind the Haunting of Jenny Wade and
that'll be a good one.
and
Yeah.
What's the other
Yeah,
guys?
that'll be...
Sykes and all that stuff.
That'll be a good one, because we have a lot of that history for that one that we've pieced together. So.
That was really kind of like the first one that we really just kept drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling and trying to find out more and more and more and more. So that one was awesome. And then it all kind of like makes sense. Why is the place... Well, here's a question for you. Okay, so one of the reports at Madison Seminary is a nurse. Supposedly the haunted collector got rid of her, but they still report that. Is a nurse, woman dressed in white. Shocker, most places have a woman dressed in white, black, red, blue, whatever. Okay, but a woman dressed in white, that's a nurse going around helping people. Is it possible that that's Elizabeth?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it could be, right?
And I keep saying I'm not sensitive, but I get these first impressions, these inklings. You know, and when we were driving up there, I told you it was an hour and 10 minutes away. She was reading me the history while I'm driving. It just makes the drive go quicker. And as soon as she mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, woman in white. Makes sense. It's a nurse going around. She's got nursing training. She's there. She's buried an acre away from the building. You know, what did she do as she was there? You know, I can imagine being in her 80s, but she's intelligent. She did all this stuff. You know, she's very active probably. She probably was helping.
Yeah. Yeah, and when, if something happened, I mean, she might have helped out. You know, before the doctor got there, you know, from across town, she might have said, you know, do this or push this.
Yeah,
or,
and the doctor's office, we did find that out, too. PSPR is still here. The doctor's office, I don't know if you guys drove by that funeral home that was leading up to it. It was across town. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have a resident doctor there. So, but yeah.
Okay. So, any questions? I got Tracy said Elizabeth was a nurse. And so, yes, she was a military nurse, so she would have had training. She may have been able to help some people out. And they think that it's better than watching TV.
What's better than watching TV?
I'm assuming
this live stream?
I'm assuming our live streams.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate it. We love having you guys on here. I like doing the videos. I like doing that because
I knew you were going to want that, Tracy.
Most of the time I do those videos like she passes out at 10 o'clock. And then a lot of times I can't sleep, so I'll work on the videos. I like doing that, but this is... I could have done a video for this, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
I like doing it this way.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to... and I was on her. She's like, it's a live stream. We'll just go on there. No. I want to be prepared. I want to know the story.
I know the story.
For you to read.
I know the story.
Well, you're a school teacher. You do this. I had to deal with... I don't even want to talk about it because I'm on vacation. Did I mention that? I'm on vacation. I don't have to go back until the first full week in August.
I don't know how many more times I can hear him say that. I don't know. I might crack. If I come on alone on Saturday.
So our next live stream is going to be Saturday live at 5. Don't know what we're going to do. So we have some regulars. Most of you guys are regulars.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to do Saturday?
Yeah, so while they're thinking about that and getting that to us, Tracy says, before you leave, I want to know more about the basement. So there's not really a lot that we have dug up. Literally.
That was bad.
I know.
That was
so
funny, but it was
for
bad.
those of you who didn't hear the other story of the other teacher, there was reports of a cold case in the area where there was a missing school teacher, and supposedly they think that she might be buried in the cement in the basement of Madison Seminary because at the same time she went missing, suddenly there was this new cement being poured in the floor in the basement. And that's pretty much all we know. literally, there was nothing else that we found anywhere, just local research on the internet. We're going to have to go back to Madison and check that out.
We don't even have a date of when that happened. We don't have... Do you have a date?
What's that?
Do you have a date? You don't have a date when that happened?
I don't have a date for when that happened either. They didn't share that information.
Yeah.
But I know that PSPR's Katie, her and I walked out of that room after we heard that, and we're like, let's dig it up. Like, why don't you dig it up? You would know the answer if she's there or she's not there. And I said, I have experience digging bodies from 1804. I can do it. So both Katie and I both stood there and said, why not just dig it up? Both of us said if we owned this building, we would dig it up. That'd be the first thing we would do. If I owned that building, I'd be digging the basement.
So what we have to do, okay, from this point with that particular
story,
claim or story, we have to find another piece to begin research. All right, so either we have to contact the police department to find out whether that's true or not.
Is this really a cold case, or is this just a local legend?
And are they going to give us that information? Do you have to be a spy and say you're a reporter? Don't know. Okay, or we have to go to that place and do some paranormal investigations, do some EVP sessions, some questioning. And when you get into that deep of an investigation, we'll probably have to rent the building so it's just ourselves there.
Yeah.
Because when we were there Friday, it was a group of 20 people. Yeah. And we didn't even get a chance to go down there and investigate. We didn't. I don't know if PSPR... Did you guys go down in there and do any EVP sessions?
PSPR, he wants to know from you if you guys went in that room and did an EVP session to try to find any EVPs in the basement room where she's supposedly buried. But I'd like to point out while you guys are thinking about that one, T-Throng Tracy says, do we need to check the basement if you come on alone on Saturday? So does she need to come and check our basement if I'm here and you're not?
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
Yeah. If I ever come up missing, first suspect.
The first suspect
she knows how to get rid of a body.
The first suspect is always the spouse. I'm just saying.
No, they didn't. He said no.
No? Okay.
So, see, that's what we would have to... Yeah, too busy.
Yeah, it was too busy. Yeah.
We'd have to rent that building, and, I do extend that to you guys, PSPR. We'll go back just the four of us.
Yeah. And
with these different things and a checklist. Okay, we have to go down there and do some EVPs, take the spirit box down there, and say, hey, we need some more information. We're here to help you. Can you give us anything to go on? And just kind of communicate with them. And you never know. Could get something. Or it could just be, nothing. But if we get a date, if we get a name, if we get a date or a name, specifically a date, then you can go either direction. Find birth records, death records. Yeah. That kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's just like a criminal case, really.
Basically, it is.
It's just we're using paranormal research, investigation methods.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many cold cases are solved by paranormal investigators. Because they get those little tidbits and they say, hey, maybe you should go look up this name on this date and see what you find. Like, give them the leads. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised.
Yeah.
How many cold cases are solved that way. So,
yeah.
I'm with you, PSPR. I think we should rent it and do it.
Yeah. Tracy says, isn't there ground x-ray machine? And I said, what would be the fun in that? I want to dig it up. But I don't know if
Tracy,
they've done anything like that.
If there is validity to that report, okay?
Why hasn't
we
somebody
have to find
already?
out, is it a story that's being told or is it true? Okay? But if there's validity, why is somebody not subpoenaing or sending a subpoena saying we have to go, we heard this, we have to check this, we have to do that? It could have just, it's just urban legend, folklore, ghost story. But some research would have to, to bring in, there is ground x-rays. There are machines where you can do sonar and see. We've seen that in the American Ripper, where they did that when they did the sonar on the river bed.
Yep.
And found that there were bodies down there. So
yeah, and they did that. I think the Oak Island. I think on that series they used some as well to try to find where to dig, and
that
I don't
technology is available, but it's probably pretty expensive. So you'd have to have a lead to go by,
right?
To do that.
Yeah.
So
so I don't know. All I know is I wanted, like, as soon as they said that, I wanted to dig it up.
Talking about digging it up. You dig up that basement, you don't find anything. Who's going to put the cement basement back? That takes money.
They've had, dirt floors in basements in the past.
But see, the thing is if you can prove that in some way, now it becomes a crime scene. That's the same thing that Jeff Mudgett was talking about when we were out there in Chicago.
Right.
If he can prove that on that location there are bodies, boom, that's a different story now. Now they have proof, and then the government has to act legally. There's laws that say that. But is the proof there? It's an interesting theory, I don't know. I'm just rambling on because I'm on vacation and I don't care.
Gosh. I don't know. All I know is me and Katie were all about going and getting out the equipment and taking up that basement.
Giving us, we could dig it up.
That's right.
And re-pour it before morning. Yeah, there you go.
There you are.
Sounds like a party. What are you guys doing? Don't worry about it. We have this place till 3 a.m.
We'll have a new floor in by 3.
What's that truck backing up? Beep, beep, beep. Don't worry about it. Your basement's going to be good as new.
Better than ever.
So that's why we'll put up a Patreon
and by the way, you'll be able to sell little chunkets of
little pieces of basement cement. Open them up on eBay.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to be back at you Saturday live at 5.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to
they didn't have any ideas about what they wanted to do on Saturday, right?
Yeah, any ideas what you guys want to do on Saturday? I don't care.
Maybe Adam can find somebody with a machine. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. I was thinking, who's Adam? You're talking about Adam Kimball.
Adam Kimball, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, hey, guys, don't thank us, man. I thank you guys for joining us because that makes it more pleasurable. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
we enjoy your input as well.
Yes, we love doing them this way.
As far as cleaning your garage, Flub and Epic, I got to do mine first.
Don't want to see yours, man.
Yeah, because I have creepy stuff in the garage, too.
Yeah.
We have a coffin in the garage.
Yeah. Well, you guys met Boris. You haven't met Sylvester yet.
Right. Sylvester's in the garage. What's
demons?
it?
No, we have no demons in our house. Demons aren't permitted in our house. That's a bad word, that D word. We don't allow them in here. We only have good spirits.
Yeah.
If they're here. I don't think they're here. They might be here. I don't know. We got so much crap. There could be something around. Who knows?
I don't know.
Wish they'd do the dishes.
Yeah, it would be nice if we didn't have to do them,
Cut the grass, clean the garage.
Yeah. Have them
wash the cars.
Pay their rent somehow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Flip and Epic, right? You got one, don't you?
That's right. Which, by the way, okay, so there's a difference between a coffin and a... What's the other word for coffin?
Sarcophagus?
No.
Oh.
Sarcophagus. You put a coffin in a sarcophagus. Coffin and a casket. Casket and coffin's two separate things.
Okay.
We have a coffin.
Coffin.
A casket is what you see now that's rectangle shaped. Ours is a coffin that is...
Hex.
hex shaped. Yes. We have a coffin.
Yes.
Which we built out in the driveway while our neighbors watched us.
Yes.
It's a full-size coffin, and it's like legal dimensions. It could be used for a body, and it does fit in the back of a 2007 Trailblazer, just so you know. Just a little trivia tidbit right there.
Yeah. So, Tracy wants to dig up a basement on Saturday. That one might be a stretch. And, not too sure. PSPR says casket.
Well, there's a delay. When I said, what's the other word? You said casket. You're not getting the whole delay thing.
I know, and I even know that there's a delay, but I'm sitting there going, does he want to have a casket too? Like, does he want us to do a casket on Saturday?
It's not immediate. Yeah. We'll think of something for Saturday.
Yeah. I have something for maybe next Saturday, but not for this Saturday.
We'll think of something. We got to think of something tonight because I got to promote it tomorrow. Which there's not a lot of people here tonight because I didn't have a chance to promote it that much.
Flub and Epic says chat's way behind this time for some reason. So it's not just me. Yeah,
a lot of delay tonight. Well, I got notifications while we're on here. They're live. A lot of live streaming going on.
Okay.
Because it's easier.
For some people.
Huh?
For some people. Not everybody, does a whole presentation to...
Well, I mean, it's easier than editing.
Yeah.
You just go live and do your thing. But... So, are we ready to...
Sure, why not? Let's build a casket live.
Ooh, that might be fun.
That could be fun. I don't think we have all the stuff ready for Saturday to do it, but...
Sid Hearth. I don't think we... Yeah, we're drawing.
Yeah, we'll be drawing for a t-shirt. You sent me that email. We'll be drawing for a t-shirt.
That. You might win it.
Yeah. Never know.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun. Are we doing
another t-shirt on Saturday? Do you want to do a t-shirt back to back? We got to get Mona that t-shirt because I'm tired of her whining about it.
I know. We got to get her to win that. We could if you want to do another one back to back. I mean, we haven't given away our book yet. We got some new
stuff. We're going to start doing these like little packages, whatever. Go grab one of the... You want to show them? You don't want to show them?
No, we'll save it for our...
We want to do it as a surprise package.
Oh, or we could do it as a surprise.
We could do mystery packages. You could win a mystery package and then send us pictures with the multiple stuff in it. We'll do that. We won't show them what's in it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So, do you have anything else you would like to add about this location?
Anything about this location? No. Just want to head back because, there were certain areas that we didn't really get to investigate. Time escapes quickly when you're investigating.
PSPR, do you have anything you like to add for this location? Because you know what? I wanted to bring him on. I wanted to try doing that so that he could join us as a guest, which we're going to start trying to do that. But I don't know with OBS crashing now. I got to figure that out first. But you know the story. You've been there. Mm-hmm. Again, PSPR, please check out his channel because he's got some more footage inside the building and part of the investigation. I think we're on his videos. He's on our videos. So we're just kind of sharing back and forth and that kind of stuff. So that's you. Don't get him. I'll flip it. Who was on? I remember like a minute. Are you on vacation? Yep.
Yeah.
Till August 6th or 7th, I think. Something like that.
He's going to be dancing now.
This was a hard school year, man. I'm glad
it was a rough year.
It was bad. I don't know if it was this year or last year was the worst. Last year was bad, too. We had 6 bomb threats last year.
Yeah, this year we did good with that, but there was a lot of new technology.
Oh, it was horrible.
So
horrible year.
Yeah.
Last year was bad going out for the bomb threats. This year was the technology.
Yeah.
New technology.
All kinds of new stuff, yeah. I think that the kids figured out
Great show, great hair.
That's not quite what we need to do. So they need to come to school to learn. I think they figured that out. Yeah, great show, great hair. Nice. All right. I think that's going to call it a wrap for the night. I am very thankful for all of you who joined us. Thank you very much for coming and chatting with us and providing us some information.
Love all you guys. Appreciate it very much. Lots of love coming from Panic D Videos.
Yes.
Please come back and leave us a comment. Let's see, what should we have them comment on? Come back and comment what do you think she told the general.
Ooh, that's
keep them PG rated.
PG, yeah.
I don't want them to go throw them into spam.
Yeah.
Any of those questions, leave that in the comments so people read them and go, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
They want to watch this video. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Had fun.
Yes. Tracy, PSPR was the couple at the beginning of the live location. Yes, they were the ones there.
Yes.
That was Bill and Katie. And Siddharth says, see you soon on Saturday.
Live at 5 Eastern Time.
Flub and Epic says that he deals with new technology every day. He's an engineer for a computer storage company. So he's right
Lord.
up your alley. And
man.
did I see
I know what you go through, bud.
Did I see someplace that you said you wouldn't be able to be here this weekend, Flub and Epic? Somebody said they couldn't be here this weekend, so I don't know who it was. I did see it come through real quick at some point. Whoever it was, if it was you, Flub and Epic, or somebody else, that's all right.
Every Saturday.
We'll be here, and we'll see you the next time you can come. So we appreciate whenever you can come. All right, everybody. You guys have a good evening, and we'll see you on Saturday.
That's right. Until next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting.
If you like this episode of Behind the Haunting, make sure you hit that like button and leave us a comment below. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from Panic D Videos in the future, make sure you subscribe and ding that bell so you get notified the next time we post a video or go live.